What is going on, guys? It is me, Josh Frink, coming back at you on the Shuffle Squad channel with another post-rotation match on TCG Sim. We have Dom playing Arceus Goodra against Zach playing the Gouging Fire, Turbo Gouging Fire deck with the Iron Leaves. This game doesn't go too well, so we're going to take a brief introduction while we sort of watch what happens. You can see Dom's hand is not particularly good, but basically the matchup here seems pretty favored for the Gouging Fire, assuming the Gouging Fire is going to be able to go off aggressively, and if they can't, I think the Goodra could pull it out potentially. Dom is playing that Hero's Cape A spec to really boost the Goodra's HP, making it a little bit difficult for Zach to be able to take the KOs that he's going to need to. But you sort of see a position here where, you know, if Zach just sort of gets set up, and you can Gouging Fire turn one if you're able to get enough energy into that discard pile, you can use the Magma Basin, the Sada, and your attach from hand to get all 3 energy and do that 260 damage. If you don't know what Gouging Fire does, the first attack for a fire and a colorless does 60. You can see it there. It is the Japanese card text, but that second attack for 2 fire and a colorless is 260 damage. But you can't use that attack again until your Gouging Fire moves out of the active spot. Now you'll notice on the bench there for Zach is that Pogo Moltres, which does the same thing as the Zapdos does in Miraidon. You'll see right there, yep. Your basic fire Pokemon do 10 more damage. So the Gouging Fire is going to be able to hit for 270. I don't know. Let me check the list if Zach is playing something to boost for the extra 10. It doesn't look like it. I could definitely see this Gouging Fire list playing something like the Vitality Band to hit the 280, because 280 is going to be a really huge number there. It's also possible, yeah, he's playing the grass energies as well there for the Iron Leaves, as I was saying. It plays the Entei V as well, very strong, and you'll see here, yeah, Dom hit for the 110, and Zach just had to knock out the next turn. And Zach's turn 1 wasn't even all that good. Got a couple energy out, but nothing too crazy. So we'll get into the second game here. See if we can get a little bit of better hand for Dom, and it looks like we do. There's definitely an argument to not start the Arceus here when it's your only Arceus going first. I don't know if Dom was playing assuming that he knew the matchup. If he was, I think there's an argument to just put the Vulpix up in the active, because your Arceus is going to be a lot more important. And like I said, you can get donked here as well. So we're going to see what Zach goes for. He's going to start off discarding that grass energy with the Earthen Vessel. It looks like a second. Okay. So I'm actually not 100% sure what just happened there. Let me take another look at that, because it looks like Zach starts with an Earthen Vessel, discarding grass. Okay, adds them just directly to the hand. I see, okay, that makes sense. So then a second Earthen Vessel from the hand. I see, okay, so he just didn't reveal the fire energies, but there should be an extra fire energy in the hand from that first Earthen Vessel there. He's gonna Trekking Shoe. Let's see what he gets off the Trekking Shoe. Discarding that Pogo Moltres, drawing another card. The Trekking Shoe. Okay, finds the Trekking Shoe off the Trekking Shoe, so 3 of them in a row. Pretty good, can't complain too much about that. Let's see, does he find a way? Okay, so the third Trekking Shoe, he got rid of a fire. Add another card to his hand. Let's see if he finds a way to get the Sada. He does. Unfortunately, only with the 1 Gouging Fire in play, meaning he's only going to be able to accelerate the 1 energy. Another way that you can set up the early Gouging Fire is by having 2 of them on board. If you Sada to both, you can use E-Switch as well. Looks like he's changing his mind, accelerating the grass instead of the fire, which makes sense. You want to leave the fire energies in the discard pile for that Magma Basin. Okay, going to be benching 1 of each Moltres. If you don't know what the other Moltres does, if it has any damage counters on it, it's 20 plus 70 for a single energy. So very good, solid 1 prize attacker. And it looks like Zach is just going to go ahead and do 70 damage here because of that Pogo Moltres. Yeah, not a bad turn one. I mean, hitting for 70 is not terrible. Like I said, he has no way to hit the 280 number, especially now that the other Pogo Moltres is in the discard pile. Okay, looks like a Colress coming out from Dom. I'm curious what he gets rid of. Okay, so he decides to keep the extra arc, keep the boss, keep the vac. I might have considered keeping the Vulpix. Vulpix is a good attacker into Gouging Fire. Obviously, the Gouging Fire hits through Vulpix's effect, but Vulpix does one-shot Gouging Fire, so it's still a good attacker in the matchup. And then you prevent Zach from attacking into your Vulpix with the Entei, so it does force him to find 3 energy onto a Gouging Fire to be able to hit through that Vulpix. It looks like he's considering what to get off of the Starbirth, getting that double turbo energy, considering the Hero's Cape. I'm not sure I agree on the Hero's Cape. It depends what he wants to go for here. I don't hate Hero's Cape. Hero's Cape does stop you from getting one shot by that Gouging Fire next turn, but it does look like he's just going to go for the Goodra, use the Trinity Nova attack to accelerate to the Goodra. The VSTAR ability has been used. Okay, so getting rid of that. Let's see what happens here. Zach is almost certainly going to be able to take the KO on this Arceus VSTAR this turn. So I'm curious if Zach is feeling pressure to do anything else, really. If he is, I'm not quite sure what it would be. I think he can kind of just take the knockout. There's not really pressure to do too much of anything else. Yeah, and it looks like that's what he does. Just takes the knockout. Okay, on to Dom's turn. Funny. Yeah, sometimes it's hard to get those cards where you want them. Yeah, so evolve into the Goodra V-Star. Get the Town Store for that Hero's Cape. He does also play the Leafy Camo Ponchos, so Town Store does have a little bit more of a place in the deck as well. Goes ahead and uses the Colress. Let's see, he has Arc, Boss, DT, Town Store. You can definitely get rid of the Town Store. Keeping DT seems reasonable. Where'd the cards go? Oh, did he close it on accident? There we go, okay. Yeah, so I think you get rid of the Town Store. I think keeping the other things makes sense. Yeah, get rid of the Arceus as well. Getting rid of Super Rod is interesting. I'm not sure. The Arceus doesn't seem like it has that much value for the rest of the game to me. Maybe I'm wrong. I think it's more effective to just be attaching energy to your Vulpix. Because, like, you can power it up by just going attach water, attach DT. So I don't think there's a really, really excellent reason to go in with the Arceus again when your opponent is weak to the water type attacks of the Vulpix. And it forces them to find that Gouging Fire. So if you can do something like knock out a Gouging Fire and play Judge, play Iono, make it really difficult for them to find another Gouging Fire, it seems like a really good spot. But Dom does elect to go for the Arceus. We'll see if it pays off. Maybe it will. He doesn't have a lot of draw support accessible at the moment, so maybe that's why he was thinking better to just go Arceus, because it's difficult to find the Vulpix V-Star. Zach Town Storing for that Forest Seal Stone. Obviously has the Entei active to use that. It looks like he used Radiant Greninja. I'm not sure. The Fire Energy, I think, went directly to the discard pile, so that probably is the Radiant Greninja. Okay, Ultra Ball here for Gouging Fire. Gouging Fire comes out of the hand. Forest Seal, probably going to get the Professor Sada's here to get an energy onto each of those Gouging Fires. Again, wanting to accelerate the grass energy to each of them, just because then you save the fires in there for the Magma Basin. It depends a little bit on the hand, but a lot of times it's better to Sada the grass energies here. Draws those 3 cards. So he is looking for Basin attached Switch. He does play the Earthen Vessel, so it looks like he's going to have the Fire from hand. So now he just needs Basin and a Switch card. And we'll see. We'll see if he does have those here. Got a Grass Energy off of the Vessel, which is an interesting choice. I'm not sure that it's correct to get double Grass, especially because you already have 2 available to you in the discard. I think you would want more access to Fire Energy if possible. So he does have the basins to one of the Gouging Fires. Yeah, that ancient booster on the gigantic Pokemon, giving it an absolutely insane number of HP with just a tool. Yeah, okay, so it looks like he is going to do the 270 minus the 80 from the Rolling Iron, so it'll be 190 here. Should be 190, probably just a mistake. Yeah, it looks like they're fixing it right now. So unfortunately for Dom, when you're playing Arceus Goodra, there's no way for him to get the to use the Moisture V-Star power. It's unfortunate, right? Like, Goodra would really like to heal here. If Goodra could heal here, it would be in a very good spot. I think Dom should Lost Vacuum that Magma Basin. Right now, Zach is forced to retreat or switch this Gouging Fire. And if you vacuum the Magma Basin, it's going to be a lot more difficult for him to find the extra energy, right? He would need to find a replacement Magma Basin, would need to find an extra E-Switch in attached from hand. And again, we saw Zach take a fire and a grass from the deck last turn, so he may not have a fire in the hand, especially after attaching one. But it looks like Dom elects not to use that Lost Vacuum. I think had he used the Lost Vacuum, he might be in a safer position here, because now, yeah, Zach can just Magma Basin, Switch Cart. Yep, it looks like that was the Magma Basin. I'm not 100% sure. He's not putting the damage on, but nothing came out of the hand, so I think that, yeah, I think this was a misplay. I think you needed to Lost Vacuum that Magma Basin to prevent this kind of play, right? Because it looks like Zach didn't have the fire in hand. Zach only had access to that Energy Switch. And so if there was no fire in Zach's hand, he would have been unable to attack this turn. There's no reason to bench the Goodra, in my opinion. I feel like at this point, your best bet might just be to boss up that Entei V and try and stall until you can get a little more set up. You have 3 bosses, so if it works for a few turns and you can get that Vulpix V-Star set up on your bench, I think that's going to do a lot for you. Okay. Decides to boss. Yeah, elects to boss the Gouging Fire. I'm not sure I agree with that. Taking this knockout doesn't do anything because you can't follow up on the next turn. I think there were a few choices Dom made throughout the match that, had they been playing more towards that Vulpix V-Star line to one-shot, take a big one-shot on that Gouging Fire, would have been able to be in an okay position here. But unfortunately looking to be a little tough, right? Because now Zach can just Super Odd that Pogo Moltres back in, and if he has a way to get it out of the deck, well, I'm confused. What just happened? I don't know how this Gouging Fire got here. Okay, they're shuffling Moltres, shuffling Gouging Fire, shuffling Fire. Yeah, didn't need to do all of those things, but yeah, it looks like gonna put that Pogo Moltres down, get to the 280. Yeah, I think the Vitality Band could still be cool here. I don't know. The list is not playing Arven, so it is a little bit difficult to find. So maybe just playing the double Pogo Moltres is better. Could be, at least. Yeah, so we'll get into the third game here. Dom again with a really, really tough hand. Attaching the water to the active. Yeah, I'm not sure on that. He does have the Ultra Ball. I'm not sure if Dom is playing a Lumineon. He may be, and if he is, probably saving the Ultra Ball for that. No, not playing the Lumineon. So I actually think that you probably should Ultra Ball here for an Arceus V and just commit to that, because your bailout sort of needs to be Arceus V-Star off the top. Yeah, I think this list that Dom is playing is just a touch inconsistent. You can see just looking at this here. Let me go ahead and pause the video real quick. You can see just sort of looking at this spread. If we're counting draw supporters, you have 1 Iono, 1 Colress, 2 Colress, 3 Colress, 2 Iono. There's only 5 draw supporters in this deck. I'm not sure exactly what the numbers are and what he's playing. It looks like 4 Iono, for Colress is the total number of draw supporters in here. So no judge, you don't see any research or anything like that. Makes it a little hard to be more consistent. Does still have access to the 4 Ultra Ball, obviously has access to the 3 Arceus VSTAR. So I think the correct play here would have been to just Ultra Ball for that Arc V, attach an energy to it, and hope that you can get an Arceus VSTAR or access to an Arceus VSTAR off the top. Okay, it looks like they're switching to that. That's definitely correct, is to attach the energy to that Arceus V, and then hope and pray, right, that you hit that Arceus VSTAR off the top. And if you do, you can Starbirth for something like an Iono, something like a Colress, and if not, probably you are just losing. That would be my guess, is that you're just losing. Okay, so it looks like Zach is going for the Earthen Vessel into the Ultra Ball, probably going to get Greninja maybe, if he has Sada already in hand, maybe just going for a second Gouging Fire. Very possible. Yeah, going for the second Gouging Fire. That probably implies that he has the Professor Sadas in his hand. Just going to be able to accelerate to both of those. And then all he needs to do is find Energy Switch Attach, right? And then he's done. Okay, so the Fire Energy onto the bench. Yep, draw 3 cards. Looking for E-Switch Attach here. Does have Prime Catcher. Ooh, yeah, if Zach has the E-Switch, yeah, this game I think is probably just over. There's nothing like Raihan in the format anymore that would have allowed him to sort of do anything here. It's gonna hit for 20 damage. Yeah, it's a little bit rough. I think a little bit rough here, seeing how aggressive Zach is able to go. And now Zach, in Dom's favor, right? Zach needs to find double switch. Or a way to attack with the bench Gouging Fire. It's very possible that Zach misses the 260 damage attack here. And if he does, Dom just really needs to draw into Iono or Colress. Yeah, the issue with an Arceus deck like this is that, you know, there's not really a single card that can get Dom out of this, right? You would need to get another Arceus onto the bench. It's gonna have to wait for a bit and then be able to go in with that Arceus. Yeah, it looks like Zach retreating, accelerating to that Gouging Fire for 20 damage. Yeah, there's the attach, the switch card. Yeah, that's just the game. Yeah, actually this Turbo Gouging Fire functioning much better than you would expect, just thinking about a turbo deck that can't play Pokestop. I'm surprised to see how well it works, and having a 290 HP Gouging Fire is quite good. So yeah, well, thank you all so much for watching. Gouging Fire is the new best deck in the format. I hope this has helped show you some of the new fun cards in the Temporal Forces format, and yeah, I look forward to seeing you all on the next one.
Want to support the Shuffle Squad? Be sure to check out all of our sponsors in the description to pick up Pokemon TCG singles, sealed, and PTCG live codes. Hey trainers, tired of having too many cards lying around? I know that feeling, and I know what a hassle it is to try and sell those cards. But selling bulk is now easier than ever with TCG Bulk. Find tons of potential buyers in a single place. You just download the app, look for the best buyer near you, and carefully pack your bulk, ship it, and you get paid. It really is that simple. Turn the cards you don't want into the cards you absolutely need for your next deck. You made it to the end. Thank you so much for watching this entire video from the Shuffle Squad. Honestly, from the bottom of our hearts, we appreciate each and every person that supports our content, watches what we have going on every single day, every single week, even from time to time, and continuously allows us to have a forum to project our creative content towards the Pokemon TCG community. So if you haven't already, be sure to give this video a like, subscribe to the channel, and even leave a comment to help boost the YouTube algorithm. That being said, we'll catch you with our next video. Thanks again. Take it easy.